In this video, I'm going to explain why training the front desk at your medical spa is important in order to increase your revenue. This video will be a step-by-step process, so even if you don't have a front desk team or a receptionist right now, the video will still be valuable to you. You'll gain some insights from it that you can actually implement at your own clinic today. So that being said, let's dive into it. So first, let's talk about the why. Why is it important that you train your front desk team? Well, your front desk is not just the first face that your clients see. Your front desk is actually the bridge between the potential client and your clinic. And if you think about it, they actually set the tone for the entire customer's experience. So when your front desk is well trained, not only can you get more customers in the door, but they will also have a better experience because the right expectations were set. But what happens when your front desk team is underperforming and not doing a great job? So let's say that you have a call script that you gave to your front desk team that they need to follow to book appointments in. But what if they're not following that script, right? Maybe they're not even taking credit card information to confirm appointments. Maybe they don't take prepayment over the phone as you instructed them to do. Or maybe they just don't follow your call script and they don't set the right expectations for the first appointment of a new client. As a result, you could have like an increase in no-shows, an increase in late cancellations, and obviously that's super frustrating and not only a waste of your time, but it's also going to result in a decrease in revenue and a decrease in package sales, right? Because if your front desk person is not explaining how the first appointment will go, that they would actually need a consultation to determine what treatments and how many sessions would be best for them, then that person is unlikely to actually purchase a package during their first visit, right? So it will also lead to a decrease in package sales. And all of these things could have like a huge impact into your med spa's bottom line. So now that we've established the why, let's talk about the how. What can you do to make sure that your front desk performs at a really high level and that they actually achieve great results? Well, first of all, I think it's important to mention that training your front desk person or whoever is in charge of the lead conversion process, it's not just a one-time event, right? It's an ongoing process. And it all starts with the onboarding process. So directly after you hired a new front desk person or someone who's in charge of the lead conversion process, you need to make sure that there's a smooth onboarding process that gets them onboarded properly. You want to provide your team members with all of the resources that they need in order to succeed. Now, my first recommendation would be to have a pre-recorded online training available for your new front desk team members. So in that online training, you can actually include your call script so they can study the flow of the conversation. But I would also recommend to have recorded calls in the training available so they can just listen to these calls and they can mimic them, right? Because a script is a script, but they also need to listen to how it's done properly. So those call recordings are going to be super important for them to have. And not only the recordings and scripts and tasks, but also like how they can actually succeed within the job, right? So how should they structure their day? What are the best practices? How to overcome specific objections, questions on the phone, and all of these things should be in that online training portal. Now, on top of the online training portal, obviously you also want to have one-on-one meetings. Like, it doesn't replace the one-on-one meetings in which your front desk team can get their questions answered. But the benefit of that online pre-recorded training is that it will act as a holy grail and your front desk team can always refer back to it, right? It's a 24/7 online asset. They can just watch it whenever they need it, right? So if ever they have a question, instead of bugging you, now they can actually just go to the training, listen back to a call, look at the script, look at the objection handlers, and it's just going to be super helpful for them. But onboarding is just the beginning, right? Over time, you want your front desk to continuously improve and become better and better and better at converting leads into appointments and ultimately sold packages. Here are some strategies that you can use in order to improve their performance. First of all, I would highly recommend to have weekly team meetings. Right, so make sure to dedicate specific times and days each and every week in which you'd have those team meetings. And during those meetings, you can do a couple of different things, right? So firstly, what you can do is you can share success stories. So celebrate the wins, make sure that you actually give the feedback like, hey, this person who you booked in actually ended up in like a $3,000 package sale. So congratulations, celebrate the wins. And then you can also do call reviews, right? This is super important. You need to make sure that the phone calls that your front desk makes are being recorded so you can actually give feedback to them after listening to it. So while listening back to these phone calls, you can compare their calls if they actually follow the call script, if their tonality is right, if they're handling objections the right way, and it's just going to be super helpful for them to understand understand how they can improve. In addition to the call reviews, you also want to allocate some time to do some active role playing in which your front desk team can just practice the script, right? You can act as if you're the lead and now your front desk team needs to book you in. You can throw some objections at them so they can basically practice those objections, and you can give them instant feedback right then and there. So if you have multiple front desk team members, it will also be helpful for other team members because they can listen to these calls and listen to the feedback that you gave as well. So these meetings, they don't have to be like one-on-one meetings. You can do them in a group setting, and that's going to be super helpful. And then also you want to analyze the metrics, right? So you want to make sure that your front desk person keeps track of how many appointments they booked, how many showed up, how many of them no-showed or canceled late, and ultimately how many of these appointments bought a package, right? What was the end result of the appointment? And there obviously going to be a Q&A section, so if ever they would have any questions, they can just ask them on these meetings as well. So to wrap things up, keep in mind that your front desk team has a super important position at your company, and if they are well trained and they perform well, it could result in like an increase of revenue for your business. So make sure that you spend time in onboarding them properly and providing continuous support and training so you can achieve your business goals as well. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any video suggestions, you can leave them in the comments, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video.